Hey everyone, I'm Renee, a designer here at the Quilted Cow. Today we're going to be working on the Capri carrier, and you can find them on thequiltedcow.com. Before we get started, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Husqvarna Viking Sewing Machines, Wilmington Prints, and Creative Grids. Let's get started. So with the Capri carrier, we're going to make a cute little tie. It ties it all up. It has snaps that you can take and move your ties out of the way and use it as a basket. So we're going to start with making the ties. You have your cuts that's on the pattern. That's what you want to do first. Cut out all your pieces. And on your long strips, that's how we're going to make our ties. To be able to get the point, I want all of these to be identical in length and size. So I'm taking my two long strips, placing them together on top of each other. You can stack them. And I'm going to meet up this top end. Take your ruler. Thanks to Creative Grids, we got one right here. And from each edge, you're going to measure in 2 inches. Now we want to come down 7 inches from the top. And where the point of the 2, you're going to come down diagonally to your 7-inch mark. And right here, you can either draw you a line and then go back and cut it, or you can just go ahead and cut that angle right off. Now we want to take these 2 pieces, put them right side together, and we are going to sew all the way around the edges. And when you get to the ends, stay within a 1/4 inch and just come right on around. And you're going to leave an opening on one of these sides so that you're able to turn this. So once you sew all the way around, go ahead and turn it with that opening. And this is what it's going to look like once you get it turned and you want to get it pressed. Now, your opening that you have when you were going around to be able to turn it, I've got mine folded in so well. There it is. I had to find where it was. So here's my opening. Now we are going to install the snaps. And when you install your snaps, this is how it's going to look. We're going to be using the socket side of the snaps. So now let's go ahead and prep our exterior. So with the exterior, it's going to have foam batting, and you can feel free to use free fuse and fuse it on, or you can give it a very cute decorative stitch. I just did some sidelines, and I could have went back and did some cross hatch, but I decided just to keep it simple for today. It can be as extravagant as you want or as simple as you want. Once you have your fabric quilted down or fused down, you want to cut it down to size that's in your pattern. It's a little oversized, so if it draws up a little bit as you're quilting, you're able to trim it down to size. And then we're going to fold this right side together, match up your ends, and then stitch this end closed. Leave everything else open. We're just going to stitch this in. And this is what it looks like once it's stitched. Now, right here, if you can see, I did a little mark because I want to know where my middle seam is. So you can just kind of mark that side too. So that when you go to get this in the middle seam. So here's my seam. Find that mark. That's where you want to clip it. And you want to clip that on both ends at your mark. Once you have that completed, this is what it looks like. Now, there's one or two ways that we can get these corner pockets made, or for the box cut. See this? I always draw before I cut. Why? See this bigger box? When I drew it the first time, I did not have my ruler in the right place. And if I would have just cut, then I would have cut that incorrectly. So I went back and remeasured, and the dimensions that you need to come in and go up is in your pattern, but you just want to draw that out. So that was my mess up. It's good I did not cut it. I just went ahead and drawed it out. And now you want to cut out these corners. You can either use scissors or you can use a rotary cutter. And then go ahead and set that to the side, and let's go ahead and prep the lining the same way. You're going to fold it in half, right side together, stitch down this end, and then you're going to mark where the center is, and then you're going to fold it in, open it up, line that up to get your seam down the middle. I went ahead and pressed this seam open. It's hard to do it on this one because you got the bulk of the foam, and that's okay. You can finger press it or press it as best you can, but that's how it's going to look. And now I want to box these corners the same way. Went ahead, drew my lines, got them right on this one. And since this one's not as thick, I'm going to go ahead and just use some snips and cut those corners out because I don't want to slip and go up too far with that rotary cutter. And once you get that, we can go ahead and get these pins taken out. So back to our exterior. We want to make sure that our ties, this is going to be what needs to, this is considered your right side. Even though this is going to be on the outer part, this is the right side that you want facing. So I'm going to fold this to where my snaps are out. And then we're going to feed this right down here in the bottom of it. I'm going to get even. And then I'm going to pull it up to where it's sandwiched right there in that bottom section. You're going to have it a little bit. The tie is a little smaller on each side because you got to have room for that boxing. So once you get those sandwiched in there, we're going to stitch just that bottom part to hold this together. So this is how it should look. Can you see inside there? Get kind of dark with the fabric, but you just pretty much folded it in half and caught it. So now we're going to box our corners. To box our corners, and we got to make sure with the exterior, see the right there is our tie. We want to make sure it's below where we're about to stitch. And we're just going to take these corners, pull it taut. I'm going to put one pin in there to hold it for me. And then I'm just going to go straight across 1/4 inch seam allowance. Now do the same with the other side. Now I want you to repeat, do the same thing with your liner. And once you get your liners boxed, this is how it's going to look. So that's my liner done and my exterior done. So we can take our exterior, turn it, leave the liner wrong side out. Then here's your ties. Make sure, because it's not too late at this point to fix it, But when you have your ties out, you want to make sure that your snaps are going to be going the right way. You shouldn't be able to see your snaps on the outside. Now we're going to add our snaps that go on the inside. So once you construct your lining bag and you have your corners, I went ahead earlier to help with the stability of it. I did not leave an opening. You can go ahead and leave your opening, but I like to have it completely done, and then I go back and just pop a few stitches to have you an opening to when you go to turn it. So that is an option that you can do. So I went ahead and opened that now. Okay, so now we're going to put our socket side of our snaps onto our lining and our main exterior. You're going to come down 1 1/4 inch on your exteriors. And then on your lining, I'm going to show you how to put it on with your lining. You're going to come down 1 inch. Now, the only difference between what we've done so far is when you do your exterior, the little prong that's on the back, you're going to have to push just a little bit harder because you have more bulk that you're going to have to go through. So let's go ahead. We know that the seam is your middle. So let's go ahead and fold it on the seam to find the center on the other side. And I'm just going to do a little mark right there. You're not going to be able to see it, so it really doesn't matter what you mark it with as long as you can see it. And then come down 1 inch and make a mark. So I'm lining it up. Here's my seam or my center, 1 inch down. And with this one, because it's so thin, you can still poke a hole. Put the back half in to where you can't see it on the back. And then remember, this is the spoke side down. And then we're going to do the same on the back. So that's how it goes on the liner. So now we need one of these inside right and one inside out. I'm going to put the exterior right side out so that I've got somewhere to tuck these tails or ties to get it out of the way. And now I'm going to put my liner on the inside, the right side together. So the liner's right side out, interior or exterior, right side in. And then I'm going to match up these seams that's in the back. And you can either clip it or you can pin it, whichever. And we're going to go all the way around and make sure that tie stays poked down below where you're about to stitch. And we're going to stitch it all the way around the top. All right, so we have sewed all the way around the top. Now we're going to turn this through the opening. I'm going to reach in that opening that we left in the liner. Grab this bottom half. Remember, you got all those ties too that's got to be pulled through. Go ahead and, close that opening to your liner. You're going to pull it out. Make sure, the wrong sides are folded in, and then you're just going to stitch right down there by machine or hand. And I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that top. So you just want to fold your liner all around and then top stitch. You can either press it or fold it as you go. And again, if your machine like the Husqvarna does. You can just feed this right in and go around. So here's your Capri carrier. You can go ahead and fold your top down. And then you can take your tie, snap it on both ends, then give it a tie. It's like a little hobo bag top with those ties. How super cute. Great little gift. Remember, this is one of our Helpful Heifer series. It's so easy to make. Don't let it intimidate you. Watch this tutorial to help you walk through it again. If you want to make them for gifts, you can make several time and time again. It can be found on thequiltedcow.com. Don't forget to like our channel and subscribe to it so you can find us easy. And thanks for watching.
Okay, you wicked cool quilters, good job. You made it to the end. We would like to thank our sponsors, Husqvarna Viking Sewing Machines, Creative Grids, rulers, rotary cutters, and mats, and Wilmington Prints for the beautiful fabrics. Thanks for watching.